Why is it that all of our lives, there's so much emphasis placed on meeting new people and socializing, but little to no emphasis on quality time spent alone? From such a young age, we're taught about the importance of making new friends and learning about others, and that's wonderful. It's all very important. I don't disagree with that in any way. But one thing I feel we were never taught the value of is solitude. Spending quality time alone with our thoughts, free from the input of others. And not only is solitude not encouraged, but it's often criticized. It's associated with being lonely and depressed, as if wanting to spend quality time alone at times is means for concern, like there's something going wrong. Or when we're younger in elementary school and high school, there's a feeling where, like, if you don't have a lot of friends, or if you're not desired, if you're not cool, then you spend all your time alone, right? You're a loner. And the people don't want to be that. But then it's funny because as an adult, you kind of want to just embrace being a loner. You go to work all day, you're socializing with people, and you just want to come home and jump straight into loner mode. And socializing is great. Hanging out with friends is great. Like it's important, but with so much emphasis placed on that, and so little emphasis based on self-reflection and self-awareness and solitude, there's a serious lack of balance. I feel like this era, more than any other, has led to a sort of information generation where a lot of people know a lot about a lot of different things, but they know very little about themselves. And I think it's important to point out that even if you're at home alone, but scrolling through social media, or watching Netflix, or reading a book, those are all great things. They have their time and place. But for the purpose of this conversation, it's not solitude, because even reading is input from other minds, right? Solitude being time spent alone with your thoughts, free from the input of other minds. Reading is still receiving input from the mind of the author. So not quite solitude. So there's a difference between time spent alone and time spent in solitude. And see, a lot of people, including myself, go their whole day just bombarded with constant input from other things external to us. You know, you wake up in the morning and boom, maybe email and social media. And then you go to work, and at your work all day, so you're dealing with your coworkers and your customers and all the people that's involved with that. And then you're on your way home, and then maybe you're in your car, you're listening to music, you're listening to podcasts, you're listening to audiobooks, and then you get home. You're spending time with family, which is great, but you're spending time with family. No time alone to yourself. And maybe you go for a walk, but then you're walking with somebody else, or you're walking and you're on the phone talking, or you're listening to music again, or you're scrolling through your social media feed, catching up on email, and then you go home, and then you go to bed, and you knock out, just to wake up the next day and start it all over again, with little to no time spent with yourself. Time just with you in your mind, just reflecting, just asking yourself how you feel. Time in solitude. And I would love to hear your thoughts. Let me know down in the comments, when was the last time you went for a walk alone and left your phone at home? Because if it's been a while, like, I encourage you to do that, because you'll realize how strange it feels with no one able to contact you. It's just you, your thoughts, and the environment around you. Because for me, back in the day, when I say back in the day, I mean like 2 years ago, I was so focused on being productive. I think, okay, I'm gonna go for a walk and exercise, and at the same time, I'm gonna listen to a podcast or an audiobook, and then kind of kill two birds with one stone. And then I got into the habit of not doing that, just leaving my phone at home, and it completely changed the experience. So let me know down in the comments, when's the last time you did that, and how did you feel about it? When do we stop and give time for us to reflect on ourselves? To learn and evaluate who we are? To simply just listen to our thoughts and allow it to drift to deeper and deeper levels and see what we find within ourselves? Solitude is so good for us because it allows our minds freedom from interruption and distraction, and to process how we feel throughout the day. To ask ourselves questions and reflect, to listen to our own needs and emotions. Solitude can ground us in the moment. It can give us an opportunity to appreciate the little things in life that we're grateful for, and at the same time, allow us to monitor some negative feelings that we may be holding on to, and ask ourselves what the source of that thing is, or why it's even there in the first place. If you're walking through a forest, for example, in solitude, and you're walking through there, and all of a sudden you have an appreciation for little things that you didn't notice before. You notice the little ambient hum that the forest gives out. When you're walking through the leaves and you hear the leaves rustling on the ground, you hear the birds chirping. You see a squirrel hopping around through the leaves looking for a nut, right? little small things, all of a sudden it becomes peaceful. Everything else in the world doesn't matter. It's just you in the forest, in nature, in your thoughts, and time spent alone in solitude. So solitude isn't limited to being in a closed room. Solitude can be experienced going for a walk, going for a jog with your dog, taking a drive late at night in a car, taking yourself out for dinner by yourself, right? It could even be experienced getting a massage. If you're getting a massage and there's no talking going on, you're just sitting there and experiencing it and just having time to yourself to think. These are all examples of quality time spent alone. I do think meditation and solitude is different, because meditation, you're actively clearing out your thoughts. You're trying to clear your mind. Whereas time spent in solitude, you're actively monitoring how you think and you feel and who you are. And you're allowing your thoughts to go deeper and deeper and just seeing where they go. You're exploring yourself. So meditation and solitude kind of have two different purposes. Both great benefits though. And actually I have a video coming I've been working on about my experience with meditation. So if you aren't already subscribed, do so down below and you'll get notified when I put that video out. And I think the problem is a lot of people, they're actually uncomfortable spending time alone. There's a study done that basically showed that certain people were more willing to receive a mild shock than to spend like 15 minutes alone by themselves. Imagine that. How wild is it that we can be so unfamiliar with ourselves that it's uncomfortable spending time alone in our own presence? So the way I look at it is like this. Wherever we go, there we are. The only constant in our lives is ourself. Like, we are the only constant in every experience we have. And so at the end of the day, we have to go to bed with ourselves. So if you're not comfortable with your own mind, like, that's not a great way to live. I think solitude is the foundation for self-reflection and gaining a deeper understanding of not only ourselves, but even the world around us. And if you're an introvert, you probably already have a deep appreciation for solitude. And maybe it's just about granting yourself more time to enjoy that. Whereas if you're more extroverted, maybe you find it uncomfortable being alone, and maybe that's going to be a challenge for you. But I'm very confident that if you allow yourself to experience that, go for a walk in nature, great place to start, then you'll find a deep appreciation for that, because it allows you to get away from all the chaos and the stress of the world around us. Personally, I really try to never find myself saying to myself that I'm bored. Because if I'm bored, then that's a perfect cue for me to go and spend quality time in solitude in some way, some shape or form. Because what better time to spend quality time with yourself than when you don't know what to do with your time? Being almost 30 years old now, I feel like with age comes a deeper level of appreciation for solitude, which also tends to bring with it a deeper level of self-understanding and awareness about our own needs and our wants. When we're younger, we're in a discovery mode. We just want to explore. We couldn't care a damn about spending time alone with ourselves. We want to go out there and see what the world has to offer, because we think that the answers are out there. So we go out there for a couple of years, you go through high school, you become an adult, you're in the workforce for a few years, and then you quickly realize that what we're looking for isn't out there. Inner peace and contentment and satisfaction, all that stuff, the world doesn't have it to offer us. So we come back to ourselves, we come back here and we realize that we need to master this and this. We need to explore ourselves, our feelings, our wants, and our needs, and all that. And then we realize and gain an appreciation for solitude, which brings also an appreciation for time spent with the people we care about. And so with age, an appreciation for the important things tends to blossom, and then everything else just kind of falls to the side. And so I want to read a quote to you by Carl Sandburg. It goes like this. "It is necessary, now and then, for one to go away by themselves and experience loneliness. To sit on a rock in a forest and to ask of himself, who am I? And where have I been? And where am I going?" I really like that quote. I hope this video gave you something to think about. I hope you enjoyed it. I actually came up with this video idea while finding myself sitting in solitude and just appreciating the simple nature of time spent alone. And I thought it was worth kind of discussing and sharing with you. Let me know your thoughts on solitude down below in the comments. Do you enjoy spending time alone in solitude? Are you uncomfortable with it? Have you never really thought about it before to begin with. I don't know. Let me know. If you like this video, hit the like button below. I would appreciate that. For every like this video gets, YouTube will force this video and my mug in front of 50 people while they're scrolling through the newsfeed. And then one by one, we can get people to start embracing solitude and time spent alone. If you enjoy the videos like this, feel free to hit the subscribe button below. I put out a video once every weekish, once every 2 weeks maybe sometimes. I do try. And if you want to see more videos from me, hit this video right over here, and I'll see you over there. Peace.